It's episode 6 of 365 for this season. Today I'm going to be talking about my word for the year, how I decided on it, and what it means practically. Sometime in November 2023, after a couple of weeks of reflecting during my personal spiritual retreat, I decided on my word for the year as focus. That is my word for 2024. Technically, I started implementing it from then when I decided it. And what it meant was for me to be ruthless about saying no to myself, to others, and to opportunities. If whatever I'm asking of myself or what someone is asking of me isn't relevant to the areas I've prioritized, the answer was no by default. This doesn't mean that I will never add on anything new. If you followed me for any amount of time, you will know that something I firmly believe is that all plans should be loosely held, because things can change so quickly that you have to pivot. You always have to be willing and ready to pivot. And the perfect example is that for most people, even the best laid plans did not and could not have foreseen COVID and all the things it led to, and therefore could not have planned for it. People had to change their plans. So while I have plans and areas I want to focus on, I'm also going to give myself room to take on new things and throw out some of the things if they no longer fit. As new things come up, I will assess whether to add them on. Some of the questions that I might ask are, what is my desired outcome? Does this contribute to it or not? Is this related to what I value? Does it have potential opportunity for me that outweighs whatever thing I have to give up to do it? Is it important right now? Do I like it? What am I working on right now that I can move? Who else is affected? The important thing for me is I know that saying yes to something means saying no to something else. In a recent newsletter, James Clear said, a simple filter for managing your time. You're not focused enough unless you're mourning some of the things you're saying no to. And within reason, I think that that's a very nice framework to assess whether I'm saying no to enough things. It makes sense because there's so many great things that you can do at any given point, but time is finite and money is finite, and you need to decide what to prioritize. A small example for me in 2024 is I'm saying no to trying to get to inbox zero. This is something I've been trying to do for some time, and I do try to keep a hold of my email so it doesn't go out of control, but I'm giving up on trying to always be at zero unread emails. Focus in this case also looks like unsubscribing from newsletters that I no longer read, reading or archiving or snoozing emails that I've been meaning to get back to, replying immediately if I can, or snoozing to a time that I can reply. Another thing that I am doing is saying no to myself in terms of buying things. I'm trying to not buy things. I'm doing no buy January, February, March. And for the past few weeks, I've been decluttering both physically and digitally. I've been closing so many tabs, like I'm not even reading them, I'm just closing them. And I'm unsubscribing from newsletters. I'm getting rid of clothes I haven't worn in years. And it's just making my laptop lighter and my room lighter and myself lighter. And yeah, so that is a small example. So what does focus look like practically in the different areas of my life? I'm going to talk about what it looks like spiritually, in my relationships, professionally, and personally. But there are other things, but I just want to focus on those ones. Spiritually, it looks like spending dedicated time in prayer, Bible study, going to church, and doing my part to serve in church within the limits of the time that I've dedicated to that. I'm not going to join in any corporate spiritual activities outside of my home church, except God leads me to. Relationships wise, and not just like my marriage and my friends, in all my relationships, it looks like prioritizing time with my husband because we spent the last few years long distance. It means prioritizing one-on-one time with my friends over large group hangouts and gatherings. Last year, I really focused on meeting a lot of people and building community and relationships because I moved to a new country 2 years ago. But this year, I want to deepen those relationships and spend more time with people individually. Professionally, it looks like prioritizing projects that are important to the business and to my own goals. It means doing this podcast, which takes 30 to 60 minutes to complete daily. If I'm using 30 to 60 minutes of my day on this, then I can't say yes to many other things. It also means having my time properly scheduled and giving myself room, enforcing my calendar blocks, choosing what meetings I join when I can. And one of the things I want to do more of this year is to give talks, but it doesn't mean I'll talk at every conference or meetup I'm invited to, or that I'll apply to speak at every conference. Personally, it means focusing on learning Dutch and prioritizing it over continuing my swimming lessons. I've also noted what focus looks like for me in other areas of my life, like my finances and my health. I didn't just decide that my theme was focus. It started unraveling after my personal retreats, like I said. And God led me down this path, and all the things are things that I worked through with Him. And so, if you've picked a theme or a word for 2024, take some time this week to reflect on what it looks like practically for you in the different areas of your life. And if you haven't picked one, think about it. What do you really want to achieve? Think about the areas of your life and what is a common thing that connects all of them together. Have a great day and a great week. Bye. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of A Couple of Things. If you enjoyed this episode or found any part of it insightful, don't forget to share with your friends on your social media, and be sure to leave a comment or a review if you can on your podcast listening app. Thank you.